You are live. Yes, we are, because it's this week at Gear Report. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We have an exciting show for you. We have actually had some pretty cool stuff published here recently. Oh, well, hey, Buck, how you doing? Yeah, it's nice that the chat is jumping already. All right, what is this here? Always live while I'm at work. At least I can listen. Yes. Thank you. You can listen now. If you're watching in replay, we appreciate you being there and watching. For the people in the chat, we always spin our wheels for the first minute or so to give the folks in the chat time to get the notice that we've gone live and to actually get in so they can interact with us. And what is that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, and I'll tell you what that's about here. I was, as soon as I logged in, I said, yo, y'all got to understand it's a heartfelt yo. It's, sorry, dropped my mouse. It's not quite a rocky yo. I mean, I don't really slur that well when I'm completely sober, so it's not a yo, but it's more of a, hey, what's up? No, that sounded douchey. Never mind. It's not like that at all. It's, anyhow, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go, is it that? Nope. That. Oh, someone's calling me. No, don't answer. How do I hang that up? There we go. My son will get home somehow. I'm sure that call wasn't that important. Hell, he's an Eagle Scout now. I'm sure he can figure shit out. Okay, so which way was I going? That way. We're going to go this way. Introduce yourself.
TJ with Gear Report, down here in Florida, in the Gunshine State.
You are. Oh, hey, you moved the camera. I see the Gear Report banner peeking up over your shoulder there. Look at that.
There it is.
That is sexy. Just stay like that the whole show. I
was just going to vanish and just leave it there, and then I can wander around.
You can tease us with a little banner here, a little banner there. I like it. All right. So also joining us over that way. See, I got to point the opposite direction. It's messing me up. If we go way over there, we have, is it Jeremy and Kim, or is it really Kim and Jeremy?
It's really Kim and Jeremy. I did that as a just
to make him feel better for the night.
Poke the badger with a stick for a little bit. But it's definitely, if you want to call us, what is it? Jeremy? We could be Jeremy.
No, we can't.
Or Jim.
No.
That could be, none of
No.
those.
No.
Don't do any of those, guys. Apparently, that's not okay.
No.
Yeah.
So, two things real quick. We need Gear Report shirt and a Gear Report banner for our kitchen.
No.
We're not, never mind.
I would go so far as to say everyone needs Gear Report shirts and everyone needs Gear Report banners.
I know, we were super jealous when we signed on and we have none of that.
Yeah, so funny story. I actually had shirts in the car when I saw you guys a couple weeks ago, and I looked at them, and then I ran into Jeremy first, so I'm like, oh, there is no way in hell this extra large is fitting on him. You can't tell from here because we all look the same size, right? Side by side here. He's a big dude, so that XL wasn't going to work. Kim, will you fit in an XL? Are the guns? Where is it? Are the guns? See, those aren't even guns. Those are guns back there. These are, yeah. I don't know. If you'll fit in an XL, I can hook you up, but I can't do that.
Well, I mean, I'm typically in a medium when I wear it the right way, but a large to an XL I like because then I top it up to fit the way that I like it to. So. As long as you don't mind it chopped up, then I'm down.
All right. Let me move this way. I feel like I'm in the camera. I switched to a new camera. If anyone is, what? Wait a second. That's just mean. I don't even know what that was about. But all right, Mr. Pickle, the tactical pickle being ugly here. All right, I see how this show's going to go. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, man, look at this. All the scruffiness and high detail this week. I'm digging the new webcam. Let me know what you think out there. All right, we've stalled long enough. We got some people showing up. Let me go over to share screen, and we're going to go to the Gear Report homepage. All right, did that work? Let's hope that worked. Hey, it worked. Over there on the right, you will see a little thing that says $5 off on Gear Report shirts. Wait a second. When did I authorize $5 off? I don't recall doing that on it. So if you would like Gear Report shirts and you're part of the Gear Report team, talk to me off air. We can work something out. If you're not part of the Gear Report team yet, then I'm sorry, you got to pay the full discounted retail price. See, that doesn't sound as good as, you got to pay full price. I'm still giving you a discount, whatever. But they're only like $15, and they're good shirts. They're not this is a discussion we were having before. Was these aren't the old cheapo? It's a nice blend. And 1776 United did these shirts for us, and they're pretty awesome, I think. So you can see in the image over here what the back is, our round logo, and then they've got the Gear Report on the front. They don't generally make you look as cheesy as Toby looks there, but pretty simple. You click the little buy now there, and it will send me an email. It will run you through the process and send me an email. And is he roboting for anyone else? Okay, so let me know. Yeah, he was, says Blair Ramos. So, yeah, sorry about that. If it gets too bad, let me know. We may have to restart the stream, but yeah, that always worries me. I heard don't cross the streams. It's okay. If we do that, we can see both of you. There we go. I just have to remember to keep changing the layout whenever we come back there. All right, so the format at this week at Gear Report, what's the format, TJ? Do you remember? You remember.
Recently published.
Right. Okay, so let's do that. Let's and you know what? I'm going to start with the one that we talked about briefly last week, but him and her I'm just going to say Kim and Jeremy. I don't have a witty reference to. Yeah. All right. So since they're here with us now, let's go to the 7-inch round Jeep LED headlights review. And yeah. All right. So tell us what you thought about the headlights. Anything else you want to talk about that review?
So the headlights are nice and bright and round, as you can see.
Right. Yeah.
So I had LED headlights in Bella, in the Jeep. So, and they were, I had one that was flickering. So these headlights were super easy to install. Even someone like myself that never installed headlights, they were easy to take the old ones out, plug these right in, and it was simple plug and play. Just plug it in. It already had the adapters that were in place for the LEDs. However, the GXENOGO, they actually had some adapters in it. So if you haven't converted, if you're still running stock, the wiring was in there for you to change those out. So, but I didn't have to do that. I just plugged and play, and super simple. The headlights they're beautiful. Actually, they're very clear, very bright. I've had a couple of people kind of flick at me as I'm passing by with them being on just the low light. So I'm guessing that means that they're pretty bright to those folks as well.
Well, it means they're pretty bright, or that you need to go adjust your aim so they're pointed down just a touch.
Yeah, probably not going to do that. But, yeah. But hey, that'll work for somebody, sure.
That's a thing that I learned kind of with switching over to LEDs is you get the focus beam, and if you don't get it aimed just right, it can actually be dangerous for you because the people coming at you will be blinded and they could hit you. So yeah, definitely make sure you get those adjusted right. Here's what they look like there, which if anyone from the Humvee community will recognize that this is a blatant knockoff of the JW Speaker military headlights, which I had a set in my last Humvee for a little while, and I couldn't stand them. They over-focused the light, much too concentrated. But this type of knockoff really spread the light out, and they're actually my favorite. So that's why when I saw these come up, I wanted to get them in your hands and see what you guys thought about them. in the Jeep world because we were just kind of bastardizing them and converting them over to the military plugs, but they're intended for Jeeps. So awesome.
And I was very surprised because I had a set very similar in my Humvee, and the light output on a curvy road at night, we would be like, we can't see, where the hell are we going? But with these things, the minute that you turn them on, it lights up our entire street. The output on them is crazy. For that kind of price point, if these things last over 6 months, they're worth it at that price. So we'll just see how they hold up. We're going to be doing a lot of off-road in the next 4 weeks. So we'll see if we knock anything loose or make anything, flicker, and we'll come back and let you guys know.
Yeah, so I thought it was kind of funny that I asked if you guys wanted to review these and queued them up to go to you, and then right before they arrive, like a day before they arrived, I get a picture. Hey, great timing. These the lights that were in there died already.
Yep. I mean, at first we weren't even ready to use them because we're like, oh, we've got LED headlights, and yeah, it's like you jinxed us, Jeff. That's actually what happened. It's your fault. The other one.
So what you didn't know is I have a little Jeep version of a voodoo doll, and I was poking it in the headlight. It was the front passenger side one. I don't know which one went bad, but I kept poking that light with the voodoo needle.
That one. Thanks,
well,
Jeff.
hey,
Damn it.
there you go. Yeah, who knew that I was good at voodoo?
Who knew the voodoo?
That you do.
Yeah.
Look it up.
All right. Well, while we were chatting, I sent the link to Ghost. Apparently, he was unable to get in, so maybe he will be able to join us now. Jeremy and Kim, thank you for that. We'll come back to what other stuff, because I know you've got a bunch of stuff coming, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. We're going to kind of charge through all the other stuff that was published real quickly. Let's see here. I'm clicking, so you don't see me doing this. Those are 2 from Trey. We're going to skip those. Let me do one of mine while we're waiting for, there he is. The ghostess with the mostess. Trey,
What's
welcome to the show. You are,
What's
dude.
up, homies?
Well, your logo is, at least.
Yeah, no one needs to see my ugly mug, so.
That's a very good point. But we're glad to have you here anyway.
Yeah,
all right, so we're going to come back to you. I'm going to give you a little warning. We'll do the pants, the G3 pants, and then the 3X magnifier when we get done with this. This one I'm going to talk about real quick. So this is one that we're going to see a little bit more of, I think. I'm not sure if we just call this gun, Guun. Gun G10 grips for full-size 1911. This is one that I found, another thing that I picked up on Amazon, and then I sent them a note and said, hey, I want to send some of these to some other folks. If I do it through Amazon, they get charged every time something gets sent through Amazon. It's a very pricey program. Said, if it's better for you, why don't we just line some stuff up and send them direct? So I'm trying to arrange for a variety of grips for different guns to be sent to a variety of contributors here at Gear Report. So, and I wouldn't have done that if I didn't like them. So they got a 4 out of 5 gears. You can read through the review if you'd like, but honestly, short version, pretty cool. If you've ever seen like VZ grips or Wilson Combat, the type of phenolic G10 material where they put in a little CNC machine and route pretty cool little grip patterns in them. That's what this is. I honestly couldn't tell any difference from the other brands. Pretty cool. Fit perfect. Went on nice. I think they look okay on my full-size 1911. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, you can go read that one a bit more. So let's there should be a way in StreamYard to make this change from one page to the other a little smoother. Here we go. We're going to go to the G3 combat pants. So these look a little familiar, Trey. Why is that?
Yeah, they are basically, I want to say it's a knockoff, but basically it's a really high quality, it's still an $80 pant, but it's a knockoff of the Cry G3 combat pant, which are kind of what a lot of the guys, contractors, and operators are wearing these days. The real ones are the ones you can get. I don't know if you can get them publicly, but you can get the fire resistant and all that. These obviously are not fire resistant, so I didn't even want to try to test them that way. But these are basically affordable Cries.
All right.
And yeah, I was really impressed with them. I had a bunch of people ask if I had ever tried any of the knockoffs, and there's a couple different companies I think that are making them. This Ido Gear and then Emerson are making some, and I've heard bad things about Emerson's quality of like stitching, and so I didn't want to go there because I hadn't seen any reviews on these, so I got a pair of these, and I don't know if they're going to last more than 6 months or not. Who knows? But so far, what I've put them through, I really like them. They're actually pretty comfortable. They're actually more comfortable than the Cries. They're a little more lighter weight than Cries. Cries obviously are a little more heavy duty, so they're going to be a little bit heavier. But I was really impressed with these pants.
Awesome. All right. Well, interesting. And I don't know about you, but I always have a little bit of hesitation. I mean, I just talked about kind of a knockoff set of grips that, sometimes I'm like, man, do I want to even talk about, maybe give attention to the Chinesium, to the stuff that is, you might say ripping off the American companies that came up with the designs. And so I want to keep a balance on that and not do too much of that. But, it is also useful, I think, to explore what else is out there and, see what kind of options we can present to people. Because, I mean, if we're being completely honest, if I'm trying to think what scenario could exist that would motivate me to spend $300 on a pair of pants. I don't see
exactly. I mean, a lot of times, if people that are buying the Cries are typically going to be contractors, they're going to be someone that's probably not paying for them. They're being paid for by a company, so they're not paying the $350 anyways.
Yep.
And the only reason why I went with these is they're still $80 pants. They're not exactly cheap. They're just like the same price as your 511s or your True Specs or some of these other tactical pants. So when I hear knockoff, I think the Chinese $20 pair of pants. But these are still $80, so I was like, well, maybe they're like decent quality still, and they were. The material's good quality, the pockets are good, very breathable. So they are knockoffs of a Cries, but they're still good quality $80 pair of pants. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep. All right. So let's go from one. I don't know that I'd even call this a knockoff since we got you up and on the mic, Trey. UTG, I mean, they've been around as a brand, as a distinct brand, not some, random string of letters that, some Chinese person thought was a word that really isn't, although UTG, what does that mean? It's short for something, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't put the time in to figure out what it is, but I'm sure it stands for something.
I knew what it was at one point. I don't remember. But anyhow, they're an established other tier brand that does kind of leverage other people's designs, but generally not direct knockoffs, I think. So
yeah, I would put them at the same kind of a tier as like a Site Mark that have their own stuff, but they're budget friendly, let's say.
Yep. So
as far what's that?
I said 3 out of 5 isn't the ringing endorsement that we see sometimes. So
no, I mean, like I said, it's a $60 3x magnifier, and it works fine with all the optics that I've tried it with. It actually does work. The eye relief, if you're going to go into like an EOTech G33 or Bushnell's got to go for $150 or whatever, and Vortex has their 3x magnifiers. Your eye relief is going to be 3 or 4 inches, which is kind of where you'd want it to be. This one's going to be about 2 at the most. So you're going to have to kind of get in relatively close without seeing the little scope black hole of death, that you see a lot in the magnifiers. It's not bad. It does work. The glass obviously is not the same quality glass as an EOTech or a Vortex or a Bushnell, but it is decent. The biggest issue that I have with it is I can get past the eye relief. It is what it is. But the biggest issue I have is I do like the flip to side mount.
Mm-hmm.
But until you get used to it, it is not very easy to get that to flip up and down. You have to pull it back before you pull it up or down. It's a two motion movement that is not the easiest, especially for someone who may not be used to magnifiers.
Yeah.
But for $60, if someone's looking to kind of get into the game and say, I don't know if I want to go spend $200 to $400 on a 3x magnifier, so let's go try this one out to see if I actually like a magnifier, it's going to do the job. But if you're going to maybe want to take a step up to whatever, this is not something that's going to be a long-term fix. It's going to be probably someone that may never hardly ever use it, just wants to have fun with one every now and then, or is just looking to see if they like a magnifier or not. It's perfect for that.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's see. We did that one. I appreciate the thoughts on that. Let's get back to the crew here. What do we have left? We've done that one. Oh, looks like I've got the next two. So let me power through these really quickly, and then we can get to our upcoming stuff, because we're pushing this. I think at this point I almost want to call it an aspirational goal of keeping it at 30 minutes, because I'm not really good at actually keeping it there. So this is one that's very similar to one that we talked about last week. That is an aluminum action camera mount, and it could be useful for, I mean, you see it here mounted on the tiller arm of a Hobie 17 sailboat, but it could mount on any number of things. It'll fit. This one fits a little bit bigger than the one that we talked about last week. 0.8 to 1.37 inches in diameter. Any kind of tube or semi-tubular, it'll clamp on there. You see it goes on with these little Allen screws. So the other one last week had some knobs where you could kind of do it by hand. This one you actually have to have the wrench to put it on. But the cool thing here, the one last week, you had to loosen a fitting to be able to turn it from side to side. This one, you just turn it, and it overcomes some pressure to turn, so it'll hold it still. But you put a little bit more pressure on it, and it'll rotate. So when I'm doing sailing videos, I mean, you see the one picture, it's pointed forward. If I'm sitting on that side of the boat, and then if I go into attack or something and I'm going to move to the other side, I'll just rotate the camera before I go across, reach out, grab it, give it a little twist, and now it's pointing across the boat, so you get a little different camera angle. So pretty cool. I absolutely love both of these little mounts, but this one's especially. So I'm really interested to see if anyone else ends up grabbing something like this, what they use it for, because I got it specifically for sailing videos, because I'm doing quite a bit of that lately. But I think it'd be great for if the Humvee ever gets here, the new Humvee, then I'm sure I will clamp this on to various different places on the truck and see how it works on there. All right, so now let's switch to this last one. I'll tell you this one, another one that I did a couple days ago. I have one of my absolute favorite items for when it gets cold outside. Flambeau sent me a battery-powered vest a couple years ago that I've used when hunting and other outdoor stuff. So it's got a little battery pack that you plug in and charge up. It's like the one you see here. That's just called lightweight heated vest. They didn't even have a brand name on it. The Flambeau and this one are both the 7.4 volt, and they've got a modest size battery here, 7,200 milliamp hours. But I'll tell you, this sucker gets hot, and it's got a couple different heat zones on it. It's got panels on the front, panels on the back. And when you turn it on, it's got 3 different settings. You can set just the front, just the back, or run both of them on a high, medium, or low. And, I can't stand the cold, but I'm actually like, come on, get cold so I can go out and use this. And the neat thing about this one is that the vest itself is kind of one of those, not a puffer jacket, but it's got a little bit of loft to it. It is a darn warm vest by itself before you even turn the heater on. And with that 7.4 volt output, it'll get you nice and toasty. So I can't wait to get it out. And the big question I have about this that I haven't really been able to test so far is how long is it going to last? How long is it going to run on the high, medium, or low heat settings before the battery's exhausted? And we'll see. I don't know yet, but I'm really digging that. And if we move on, let's just go ahead and segue into so what we did, stuff that's been recently published. So what is coming? Something else that's coming, I just got it today, is another vest. And I'm looking, no, I didn't bring that one up here. And the one that arrived today runs off of a battery pack like you would use for a phone charger, a little 5 volt. So I've got a 30,000 milliamp hour 5 volt battery pack. That sucker ought to run all day on that. And I'm super excited about that one as well. So I am the biggest wuss you'll ever find when it comes to being cold when I'm outside. I can't deal with it. So I'm really excited to try out these different vests. And I think I'm going to have to do a couple shootouts pretty soon. So we'll do like a smartphone or smartwatch shootout, because I've been doing a bunch of these smartwatches. I probably got 10 of them in the last month and a half. I'm having fun with those. And I'll do maybe heated vest. And, oh, look at this. He's even got heated socks. Look at that. And they got little battery packs that go in them. So I'm all about supplemental heat, so I don't have to cry to everyone about how cold I am, because that gets embarrassing. So that's something I've got that's coming, or some of these different heated products as we're getting into the cooler months. So why don't you guys talk about...
The sad thing is you're actually worried about us making fun of you for heated socks. There are much bigger things we make fun of you about.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, and they're legit too. But so anyhow,
I want to see the socks at range day. That's what I want to do. I want to see them in January.
Well, dude, let's talk about that while we're here. Before we go around the room, because I know Kim and Jeremy have got a bunch of stuff. You notice that, right? I've just gone straight into, I don't care if it says Jeremy and Kim. I'm just doing Kim and Jeremy. All right. No hesitation. So, but let's talk about that, because everyone here has expressed an interest in going to SHOT Show. So, show of hands, who thinks we're actually going to have SHOT Show?
Oh, it's happening.
Okay, here, I'm going to put it halfway up.
Put your hand up.
No,
Put your hand up. It's gonna happen.
Here's what I think, okay? I think SHOT Show is going to happen, all right? But I think it's going to be a minor shell of SHOT Show. I think that NSSF is going to hemorrhage money if they flat out cancel it. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, nope, we're still having it. And all the brands will be expected to show up no matter what is going on in the country. Because I still believe that by the end of November, depending on how the election goes, it could be on its way out. COVID's not a thing anymore. Oh, look at this. It's proven that it's not that big of a threat now. And SHOT Show could go on normally. Or, I don't know, some states are so deep in the restrictions. I was talking to Ted over at High Score yesterday, and he was saying, he has to go. He's got so much money as a brand that last year he had 6 booths. I mean, TJ, you know what I'm talking about. He usually gets 8. So they're 4 of them. He's on the end, so he'd get 4 of them back to back, and then just instead of setting up walls, he just set up all the targets and shooting stands and everything. He cut down to 6, and now he's talking about cutting to 4 in the future. But he's got so much money tied up in it. that if they say they're having it, he's got to go, because otherwise he's not going to get anything out of that investment. I think that's what's going to happen. Is regardless of what it
I'm going to
is.
say the coof is probably the least fatal thing you're going to catch it in Vegas. So
Yeah.
I think we're okay there.
Yep. So we shall see. I am going to be upset if they cancel, but I don't care if they have it. I'll go.
We'll know in the next 3 weeks. That's my
Yeah.
opinion, because they have to know by October 1 whether they're going to have it or not. Because when they start opening up registration to media and everyone else, they're already going to have to make that decision, because at that point they're less than 90 days out, and they're going to have to know by then. So if October 1 hits without an announcement of cancellation, it's on.
We're going to have to book soon.
We'll see. I'm interested to see. I think that so combine that discussion with what's the big thing that they've been talking about for SHOT Show for the past several years. What's coming this year that they've been pimping out for a while?
Oh, the big expansion.
Right. So
the big expansion over to Caesars, I think.
It is. Yeah. So it's been at the Sands Convention Center for years, and it completely fills it up. And they've had a waiting list, I guess. That's why they're doing that pop up on the 4th floor on Wednesday, so they can squeeze another 150 brands in and charge them. So now they've got this plan to expand over to Caesars as well, which is a little bit of a walk. I'm not so sure about that, but you combine that with how many brands are just going to say, can we take the liability of sending employees to a show with all this going on? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out.
I think it's tough with as much as everybody's been selling and the ammo and the guns. I don't know. And some of them might be like, we've made plenty of money. Let's just bail and just manufacture. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that probably could have been the case had there been an NRAM. A lot of companies had mid-year debuts of stuff they were going to put out at NRAM. When all of this happened, not only did they not have that expo to do it, they actually they weren't able. I know a bunch of companies that weren't able to send out their midsummer products. So I know a lot of them are pushing those back to January. So there's going to be a lot of new products flooding the market in January that couldn't come out this summer. So hopefully they have it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. So we'll see what happens. All right. So
I'm just being optimistic here.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know. I hate to be pessimistic. I've
already booked my flight and everything, if that tells you anything.
I'm going to Vegas one way or the other. I'll see you there.
Yeah, I got a flight for $200 round trip. I was like, I'm getting it now before it starts going up.
180 for me.
Ooh,
oh hell!
Good. I'm gonna have to book, and we haven't started looking for Airbnb yet to figure out where we're gonna stay, but we'll have to check that out. And worst case scenario, we'll just go hang out at Casey's office over at Battlefield Vegas and play with their tanks and Humvees and stuff for a week.
Well, you could probably sleep in the Humvees, couldn't you?
Well,
I have before. I know that.
Bring your camping stuff. We can camp out there at the outdoor one.
That would be kind of cool. I mean, if we end up with nothing to do, maybe we'll do that. We'll just go crash. I'll call Ron and say, hey man, we're coming. So
they might even provide like bread and water. That's all you would need. At least it's food for you.
Oh yeah. They're bound to have MREs out there or something.
Man, they might give you like the tuna thing, and that's not good for anybody. That'll cause serious issues with your body.
I had to consult with I don't even know what to call him. Junior. We'll just say Junior. I was trying to come up with a title for him earlier, and I suggested the Prince of Gear Report, and he looked at me like I am just batshit crazy, which he's not wrong. But
let's call him the future.
The future. Ooh, the
No,
future.
we're not doing that.
What do you think?
No.
He said no.
He said no.
Hard
Well,
pass.
yeah, pretty much. So let's see, TJ, what do you have coming up?
I'm finishing up the Streamlight, the TLR RM2, the Manus X10, and I just picked up a couple little quick reviews for some fishing stuff
Nice.
because I fish.
Yeah. So speaking of Mantis, Austin sent me a note day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Hey, we sent you all that stuff a while ago. How's it going? And
I was like, yeah, better get back on that.
yeah, I sent him the link to the Mantis X10 Elite that Clover did a while ago, and said, "Hey, great timing. TJ has got one in the queue that's going to publish here shortly." So he was thrilled. I think a lot of people, they just sit on stuff. We're getting
if I want to like spend the brass and go shoot live, that's the last on my list. But that's pretty much what I got left.
Yeah, I got you.
It's tough.
Yeah, but hey, that's a great point to kind of plug the Mantis X products. Is you can get that practice in without burning ammo.
Yep, running around the house. Like, what are you doing? Just shooting things. It's fine. Working on my draw. They got a reload thing. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and you say that as if anyone in your house would question you, like, "What is he doing?" Like, no, I don't think they would.
Crystal's just come on, stop it.
Yeah, hey, she'd be like, "Stop walking in front of the TV," and that's it. No questions about the gun or anything.
No, nothing exactly.
Just get out of in front of the TV. Yep. All right. What? See, you told me what the name was. It was a combination of Kim and Jeremy, and I can't remember.
Jeremy.
It's Caramy.
Caramy?
Caramy.
I don't know. That's not doing it for me.
You do Kim and Jeremy, for the love of God, don't do Caramy.
All right, what kind of stuff you want to talk about that you have coming?
We got all kinds of stuff, but so we've got an air compressor that we're going to be a portable air compressor and a tire repair kit. I'm not going to be able to review the tire repair kit because I'm not messing my tires up, but her tires, Kim's tires. But so we are going to an off-road park on Saturday where she'll typically go down to about 20 pounds of pressure in her tires. And before we always had to use someone else's or use an air dispenser at the end of the trail or something like that. So it's going to be neat to see if it's a little 150 PSI portable air compressor. So we'll be able to see what it does. We also have a portable camping table that we're going to do. So it's going to be a small bag. Easier to carry because as we're doing our primitive camping, we're using these little plastic tables that honestly you think they're light until you carry them down a muddy hill a few times and you're like, son of a. But so it's a camping table. We've also got before it gets too cold, we've got some Jeep pegs for when you take the doors off. Instead of just letting your foot free hang out the door and essentially branch, we've got some steps that actually go into the door hinges to try to. So, and what else we got? Oh, we have a beautiful synthetic tow rope. We're going to be changing out a steel winch cable, and this tow rope's blue, and the vehicle that we're putting it on is a blue FJ Cruiser that's all modded out, snorkels, that kind of stuff. And we're actually going to do a recovery with it. Off-road park. So that'll be a fun one to watch. So a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. I like how when you said a beautiful winch cable and Kim's face went like it's not red.
It's not red. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He opened it up. He's like, "Oh, baby, this cool cable's here." I was like, "Oh yeah," and he opened it, and I was like, "Oh." I told him, I said,
that was on me. I should have looked closely at the color before hitting the request button.
I said, it's blue, and he said, "Yeah, but it's synthetic." I said, "But it's blue."
I do want to get rid of her steel cable and go to a synthetic. But apparently, I'm not allowed to go to a blue synthetic on her Jeep.
Yeah. But it's but so it's going on the FJ, and his name's Jeremy also, right?
No, the FJ, the guy's name is Casey. He's
Casey,
actually part of a group called Spartan Overlanding. They're going to have a lot of new content, stuff like that coming out. But while they're getting started, we're doing these as a little team effort, and it's a pretty cool rig. It's going to be fun to watch. We've seen it do some gnarly things to be an FJ. I'm not a Toyota guy, but no, it's a pretty cool rig. It's going to make some, especially if we do the recovery. It's going to be some cool footage. Plus, it'll show. I mean, that thing's less than $100. You know, you're not paying $300 for a synthetic rope cable. So if it works well, I mean, it's a good buy.
G23 had a good point. I mean, you said tell them it's for the thin blue line. I mean, it kind of is the thin blue line as well.
It really is. It literally is the thin blue line. You got us, G23. Yep. You got us.
All right. So let's see here. I think we covered all that stuff. You know, what's funny is you talk about the little camping table, and I had one of those show up today as well. So I went, set it up, took some pictures of it, and was like, ooh, this is kind of neat. So while you two are kind of leading the charge for us with the overlanding stuff, I'm assuming that at some point the government is going to let me take possession of my Humvee, and I am still trying to build out kind of some overlanding stuff because I want to go with you guys. It looks like fun. I will probably, just because I'm embarrassed of the shape that I'm in, not do the naked camping thing. But
you're fortunate because it's getting cold. That's what I told him tonight at dinner. I was like, "We're not quit talking about the naked camping." I said, because we just took the Jeep up the mountain for dinner, and it was like 66 degrees, and I was like, "Yep, put the top back on. I'm not going naked anywhere."
Yeah. Yep.
I do want to share an interesting story with you guys. They are filming a movie right now in Gold Hill, North Carolina. It's a sci-fi alien abduction movie called The River. And if you play your cards correctly, you can go stay at the yurt retreat that we were at last weekend. And if you take all your clothes off, apparently an entire film crew will show up and ask for bourbon. So there is that. I ended up, because I was unaware that she invited a film crew back to our yurt, I ended up serving bourbon in my underwear to the crew. It was great. Good story. So come on, Jeff. I'm ready. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, well, really leaves one question here.
Not anymore. Well,
That's all that matters right there.
Yeah. I didn't hear the rest of it. I just heard that part. All right. Interesting stuff. The River. We're gonna have to keep an eye out for that. I mean, the way Hollywood works, it'll probably be a year before it's out. But when we see it, we'll have to remember. And So the Ghostess with the Mostess. What do you have coming?
I got my tracking tomorrow and Friday. I'll be receiving the CZ P10 subcompact, so I'll be getting some rounds through that. And I've also got the Foxtrot Mike 5-inch AR pistol and 9mm coming. We'll be getting some rounds through that. And the Digi-Trigger is coming in, so I'll slap that on one of the ARs and see how the Digi-Trigger works out. So I've got several stuff coming down the line in the next couple of weeks probably. Yeah,
I'm real interested in actually in all of those, but I was listening to the podcast with the dude from Digi-Trigger while I was sorting Humvee parts the last couple days, and that sounds really interesting. So it's
pretty cool.
I know you take a bit more of a hardcore approach than a lot of the casual shooters, so I'm very interested, once you beat it up for a while, to hear what you think about durability. I had some questions when he was talking about like a binary, how it's all mechanical and you have some potential failure points with the mechanical. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, but you kind of stack some failure points because you still have a mechanical trigger, but now you have the solenoids on top of it to do the assist for Digi-Trigger. It sounded to me like more potential failure points, but
when you're talking electronics and a mechanical piece of machinery, there's always going to be those questions, and we're going to find those out. But what I like about the Digi-Trigger is with the binary trigger, if the binary goes down, then the trigger goes down altogether. if the digital trigger side rolls down, you still have the normal 5-pound mechanical trigger that the digi-trigger has nothing to do with. So I guess it's kind of to both worlds. You get the quote-unquote digital binary trigger, but if something should fail, whether it's electronic or battery or whatever, it's a separate engagement than the mechanical, so it would still be able to fire as a normal 5-pound trigger. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see.
Yeah. And they use a pretty, he was saying they use a pretty robust, like stock mil spec as their base, right?
Yeah, it's all mil spec. And what I like about it is it's an expensive. It's a $600 trigger. I mean, let's not lie about it. But what he did is they didn't use any parts from overseas, so the quality control should be much better. Every single component in that entire system is made in the USA, not just assembled, but made in the USA, and they have quality control over a lot of it. So you like to think that the electrical components might be a little bit better than what comes off the assembly line and elsewhere,
Yep, I got you. All right, looking forward to that. The snob is right. If it's free, you can count Jeff in. Yep, pretty much. Yep. Good. And this is a little troubling, though. Paperwork got messed up. That's a true story. Boy, did it get messed up. Yeah, 20 weeks in, I get a note that they can't find it. They got to resubmit it. I'm like, what do you mean you're telling me at 20 weeks? We knew this at 18 weeks. How come you hadn't submitted it and told me I could go pick it up yet? So a friend of mine who also got the same note that they lost his, he got his clearance today. So I am cautiously optimistic that I'll actually get to pick that Humvee up pretty soon. So some things that I'm working on here. All right. What is the name? Randall, do you remember? Black Diamond. That's what it is. This little headlamp. Yeah. When we did the Philmont trek, the 100 and some miles of backpacking out in New Mexico a couple years ago, I used a headlamp that looked very similar to this from Black Diamond. And I saw this one as like a little budget option for a headlamp. So I picked that up to do a review on that. So I'm going to check that out here. Oh, that's bright. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to check that out and do a review on that pretty soon. And we're hitting hunting season. So I obviously have got a trail camera that I got the batteries in the charger charging up right now. And the neat thing about this one, I can't turn it on and show you because the batteries are charging. But all the trail cameras that I've had for years, you have to actually remove the memory card and put it in something else to see the pictures, or at least hook a cable up, if you have a device where you can download. This one actually has a little color viewing screen on it, so you can scroll through your pictures without even taking the card out. So I'm pretty pumped about getting that powered up and getting it out in my hunting spot to see what's going on out there. And let's see, what else do I want to talk about here? Oh, something kind of neat up. Nope, that side. There's the active noise reduction headset. And so how many of you guys have tried I know this technology's been around for years, the active noise canceling, they call it, ANC. Have you tried it? So these things absolutely blew me away just driving the van. So I was thinking Humvees are really loud and really poorly insulated. So, there's noise everywhere. This would be kind of neat to be able to flip the active noise cancellation on and maybe actually be able to hear what's going on, not have that just din in the background. So I wore them in the van a couple days ago. I was driving to get Humvee parts, and it blew my mind how well it canceled the noise. So I'm going to keep playing with these. They also, they're Bluetooth. So I've been using them on some phone calls to see how it worked. And Jeremy told me they sounded good. He was the first call with this headset was when he called yesterday or today, whenever it was. I don't know. All the days are running together. So those are just some of the many wonderful things coming. If there's anyone watching that's into Humvees, I have been buying up parts left and right and am posting them on Gear Report. Oh, I should show that. Yes, let's do that. We will share the screen and go to Gear Report, share. And because this is something you may not know about, that we have forums on Gear Report, and you may not know about them because they don't get a lot of activity. But if you go in the Humvee forums down to the classifieds and for sale, you'll see Humvee parts for sale. And I've got all kind of stuff up here, starting with some pretty high-end machine gun mounts. So when I say I've got Humvee stuff, I'm not talking about, generic stuff you can go to AutoZone and get. Good luck finding an MK93 50 cal soft machine gun mount or a hard mount like the M23. Or if you got an M60, I've got an M142 machine gun mount available, and we've got fuel systems, gas tanks, a roll cage for an H1 Hummer H1, a full roll cage with a soft top. I've got so much stuff in here, antennas, generators. Some of this is kind of hard to find, some of it not so hard. Bunch of different types of wiring harnesses. If you're into the Humvee stuff, check it out. If you're not into it, shame on you.
Some of that stuff is so cool.
Some of that stuff's so cool. Thank you from the Peanut Gallery. I appreciate that. All right. Any other thoughts, comments, anything before we wrap things up and go ahead and sign off for the evening?
I do think the SHOT Show is going to happen. I do trade shows for a living, and my shows are already starting to come back. We have one at the end of the month. We have 3 next month. So just coming from the lumber industry, which is pretty close to the same thoughts and feelings of COVID as the gun industry, I really do think it'll happen. I think it's going to be smaller and more spaced out, because that's the event I just went to in Louisville. I mean, that's how it was, space the booths out. I think it's going to happen, but you're just going to see that smaller, more spaced out. You're not going to have booths right beside each other. If there's areas with food and beverage, used to in the past, we could serve ourselves and things like that. Now someone gets it to you. So I just think there'll be slight differences. Yeah. But I do think it's going to happen.
All right. We're looking forward to getting the official word on that. And I think, it is time to go ahead and start booking for that. So, TJ, we're going to have to sit down pretty soon and go over the list of everyone who has expressed an interest, and pick the dream team. It's a lot of responsibility here, but I'm counting on you. So,
I'll
you get what? Ooh,
nightmares are still dreams, right?
Nightmares are still dreams. Yes, they are dreams.
Yeah. So, all right. We completely blew the half-hour time limit out of the water at 53 minutes. What in the world? Facebook, they're starting to delete accounts. For what? I mean, I'm sure I've done something to deserve it, but I didn't know they knew about it. So, yeah. I wonder what accounts have gotten the axe lately.
The Hodge twins, didn't they demonetize it, or didn't they demonetize them, and they're in fear of having theirs deleted?
Wow. Yeah, we don't have
people are moving to other platforms.
Yeah,
because of it. Well, and they're in the new terms that they just sent out a couple weeks ago, as of October 1st. Basically, if they don't like what you're saying, or if it doesn't fit their agenda, then they have the right to delete it.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We try to spread out on a bunch of different platforms. So if we get axed everywhere else, we're always we have videos up on BitChute. That's a really broad one. I have 2 accounts have been deleted. My buddy just got deleted. Wow. Yeah, but you're kind of shady, G23. Yeah, what I meant to say is
he likes 40. He likes 40. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Okay. With the ammo shortage, 223 9mm, 13 account, lucky number 13 accounts. Good. That's why you got deleted right there. With the ammo shortage, you can't get 5.56, you can't get 2.23, you can't get 9mm. 45 is hard to get. What can you get? 40. All right. Who's stupid now?
And 6.5.
I still won't buy a 40.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for this evening. So thanks, everyone. We appreciate all the comments and interaction. Thanks to all of the folks who showed up to be on the panel and talk about what was published, what's going to be published. We really appreciate that. So many cool things you could be doing this evening. You chose to be with us. I appreciate that. So until